Now, one more issue again, the Sunday law of the Sunday recommendations of 1888. One would ask, why would Mrs. White speak about a Sunday law coming when she knew that the Sunday law was going to come from the image of the beast and that the image of the beast was going to come by miracles? The 1888 version of the Great Controversy shows that she knew that.
Yeah.
Yet why did she tout this as the beginnings of a Sunday law? Because if a Sunday law, if one is to what we call campaign for the image of the beast, why are you campaigning for the image of the beast? Because you wanted to enforce religion. How is the image of the beast going to enforce religion? Via Sunday law.
Yes.
So you will have a Sunday law agitation taking place before the image of the beast.
Amen, amen, amen.
And before the image of the beast, recommend the enforcement of a Sunday law by Congress, who now have the way to do it because they change the substance of the First Amendment Establishment Clause right part. So they change that part. So what will be needed first is an agitation. So that wasn't 1888, that wasn't a stage of the Sunday law. It wasn't even a law yet. It was just a recommending of a Sunday law as agitation began. And at the same time, God sent the 1888 message to prepare the church theologically for it. But the church rejected the 1888 message. And so, the Sunday law agitation died out. Now, had it not died out, because the church accepted the 1888 message, the church would be preaching righteousness by faith all over the earth. Also, you would suddenly see miracles coming from the Christian holiness, the holiness groups of people. You would have seen miracles coming from them calling for a Sunday law. And the miracles will get more intense to the calling of fire down from the heaven. And some of those same ministers would have been established legally to work with Congress to establish religious laws. So you would have had the image of the beast. But all the fires coming down from heaven and multitude of miracles with a lot of so-called dead people coming back, or those who claim they're coming from heaven to come and tell people that it is Sunday that they keep up there and so on. Or a whole pile of miracles, healings and all sorts of things would have been taking place.
Right.
And that hasn't happened.
No, it hasn't.
So, Johnathan Berry is not even, one more thing again too. The Sunday law recommendations of 1888 were taken from a coalition of groups. That group was Protestant.
Yes, that's the point.
The coalition of group was Protestant. But nevertheless, when the Senator Blair brought the bill, this was a session where people will be called upon to talk about the bill, to investigate it, and to see what could be done about it. It wasn't Congress. Then it would have had to be recommended to Congress. That would mean miracles would just about to start had the Adventist Church accepted the 1888 message. But alas, they didn't. And so the miracles never came, and the Sunday law died out. But it wasn't a stage of the Sunday law. It was just a recommended policy of a Sunday law. Okay, like how Johnathan Berry has the the recommendation of Sunday rest for people. And the law is not a Sunday law, but really domestic and labor-related actions for some laborers. And that is what it was. So they cannot make much out of it. It is neither Sunday law junior, neither is it a Sunday law, because it is Congress that's supposed to legislate a Sunday law by the advice of the image of the beast, which uses miracles as the means to get a Sunday law enforced. Again, it is not a bureaucratic Sunday law, and it is not a state-by-state Sunday law. It is a federal Sunday law you're looking for. Something recommended for the whole country. Not one state seeking to get one thing. So it is not to come state by state. That's another delusion. They're doing everything to fool people. And why all these things are not there in the book of Revelation? Because they don't constitute prophecy. Therefore, you cannot preach it, and therefore have the third angel's message. So those who are preaching that, it's not the third angel's message.